Hi, I'm Rob Carson, and this is my kitchen. All right, today we're going to do some pickling. Generally, pickling is reserved for little old ladies named Esther. However, this is not your grandma's pickling. Today we're going to pickle asparagus, green beans, and jalapenos. Pickling is pretty simple, and the reason why I do it is because if I make Bloody Marys, or if I have a cocktail party, or I just want something to put on an olive tray, I want something a little bit different, you know? You can get dill pickled green beans and asparagus at specialty stores or at a grocery store, but they're fairly expensive. All you need essentially is some garlic, some kosher salt, and I need white vinegar, distilled white vinegar. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this to a sub-boil, all right? It's just shy of boiling. When you see bubbles start to form, don't let the vinegar boil. It's not really going to hurt it, you just don't need it that hot. I'm using two different kinds of jars. I've got your pint jar and your quart jar. I find the quart jars work a little better for the asparagus because it's bigger. Pint jars for the green beans. Actually, today I'm using what they call haricot vert. That's French for green bean. Now, with the green beans and the asparagus, I'm going to use some dill and garlic. With the jalapenos, it's all about the jalapeno. So here's how you do it, guys. You take a handful of green beans, you size them, see about where they are. You take a couple sprigs of dill. Don't do too much dill. Then I'm just going to wrap them right around there. Before I put them in the jar, though, I'm going to take about a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put it in the bottom. 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to pack them fairly tightly. So I've got the salt, I've got the garlic, and I've got the tightly packed green beans. Asparagus is the same thing, except for in the quart jar I'm going to use like 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. A good teaspoon of salt. I'm going to go ahead and size my asparagus. I'm going to do the same thing like I did with the green beans. Put my dill in the middle, roll it up, drop it in the jar. I'm going to check on my vinegar. It should be about ready. All right, vinegar's about ready. It's just starting to get to a sub-boil. You see the bubbles forming in the bottom of the pan, just so they haven't started to rise up. One thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your vinegar is hot. So as it's sitting here and you're putting it into the jar and it begins to cool, you might want to take it back to the stove periodically just to make sure it's nice and warm. Now we're ready to pickle. Got my jar. Got my vinegar, it's hot, and you just want to fill it up until the tips of the asparagus are under vinegar. Put your lid on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to not completely tighten this as much as I can, just loosely tighten it, and then I'm going to set it to the side and let it set for a few minutes. You want to do this, get the salt going in the vinegar, so it's a nice suspension. You set it over the side and let it cool off. Again, don't overfill. Same thing, not too tight. Shake it. Put it over the side. I'll show you how to do some jalapenos. And while you can usually get them pretty cheap, pickled already, it's kind of nice to do them on your own. And this recipe is really easy. It's just like pickling green beans and pickling the asparagus. Okay, so we pickled 3 things today: your asparagus, your green beans, and your jalapeno peppers. So once again, thank you for joining me. Check out more of my videos here on YouTube, or you can go to my radio station's website, mix1073fm.com. You can actually stream my radio show there too. It's kind of cool. Also, check out my personal website, robcarsononline.com. Enjoy your pickled peppers, green beans, and asparagus, and we'll see you around.